Remember the good old days when you could walk into a store and find everything you needed? Yeah, me neither. It feels like a distant memory, doesn't it? A time when shopping was a breeze, and you didn't have to worry about whether your favorite items would be in stock. Lately, it seems like the shelves are emptier than my fridge after a weekend bender. It's almost like a scavenger hunt every time you go shopping, except the prize is just basic necessities. And if you do manage to find what you're looking for, get ready to empty your wallet. The prices are enough to make you do a double take and wonder if you accidentally wandered into a luxury store. Prices are going through the roof. It's like inflation is having a party and we're all paying the cover charge. So what's the deal? Why is everything so scarce and expensive? It's like we're living in some kind of bizarre alternate reality. Well, folks, buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the wacky world of supply chains, labor shortages, and the economic hangover from a global pandemic. It's a complex web of issues that all seem to be hitting us at once. It's a wild ride, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. The twists and turns of this economic roller coaster are enough to make anyone's head spin. Remember when toilet paper was the hot commodity? Good times, right? It seems almost laughable now, but it was just the beginning. Well, now it's everything from computer chips to coffee beans. The shortages have expanded to touch nearly every aspect of our lives. The world is facing a serious case of the shortages, and it's hitting us right where it hurts, our wallets and our sanity. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's our current reality. So grab a snack, if you can find one, settle in, and let's break down this economic roller coaster we're all strapped into. Together, we'll try to make sense of this chaos and find a way to navigate through it. Remember the Delta variant? That sneaky virus that seemed to come out of nowhere and wreak havoc on our lives? That unwelcome guest who crashed the party in 2021? Yeah, it wasn't just a health scare. Well, it turns out this party foul wasn't just bad for our health. It messed with the global economy too. Empty shelves and worried faces became a common sight. See, a lot of factories and ports, especially in Asia, got hit hard by the Delta variant. These are the places where a significant portion of the world's goods are produced and shipped from. Lockdowns, outbreaks, you name it. It slowed everything down. Streets that were once bustling with activity turned eerily quiet. Think of it like a giant game of dominoes. One piece falls, and the rest follow in a cascading effect. One factory shuts down, and suddenly, the one that relies on its parts can't make its products. It's a chain reaction that starts small, but grows rapidly. Then another factory down the line grinds to a halt, and so on. The entire production line comes to a standstill. It's a chain reaction of delays and disruptions that's still rippling through the global supply chain today. Ports are congested and shipments are delayed. And guess what? Those delays mean businesses are scrambling to get their hands on limited supplies. The competition is fierce, and when everyone's desperate, they're willing to pay a premium. Prices skyrocket as demand outstrips supply. That drives up prices for everyone, from the businesses to you and me, the poor saps stuck at the checkout counter. The frustration is palpable. So next time you're staring at an empty shelf or gasping at the price of gas, remember the Delta variant. It's a reminder of how interconnected our world is. It's the gift that keeps on giving, us headaches. And it's a stark reminder of the fragility of our global supply chains. Remember that shiny new car you were saving up for? The one you dreamed about cruising down the highway in, windows down, music blasting? Yeah, about that. Get ready to add a few more zeros to that savings goal. It's like the car of your dreams just got a whole lot dreamier and pricier. Thanks to the chip shortage, we'll get to that later. Car prices are higher than a giraffe on stilts. Seriously, it's like the universe is playing a cruel joke on all of us. Used cars aren't much better either. They're like the hot new club everyone wants into, and the bouncer is asking for a small fortune just to get through the door. It's a wild, wild world out there. And don't even get me started on the housing market. It's a whole different beast. Remember playing Monopoly as a kid and thinking, who would ever pay that much for Boardwalk? It seemed absurd back then. Well, welcome to adulthood, where houses are basically pieces of cardboard going for millions. It's like Monopoly, but with real money and real consequences. It's like everyone suddenly decided they needed a backyard, and now we're all stuck playing musical chairs with overpriced real estate. The competition is fierce, and the stakes are high. The point is, folks, it's not just your imagination. Things are ridiculously expensive right now. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the reality we're living in. And until those supply chains get untangled and the world chills out a bit, it looks like we're all stuck paying the price. So buckle up and hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Remember that global chip shortage I mentioned earlier? Yeah, that little problem is causing a whole lot of chaos. From cars to computers, smartphones to gaming consoles, everything relies on those tiny little chips. And guess what? There aren't enough to go around. Take the auto industry, for example. Car makers are practically in a steel cage match over these chips. They're delaying production, shutting down factories, and even shipping cars without certain features because they can't get their hands on the chips they need. It's like trying to bake a cake without flour. You might end up with something, but it's not going to be pretty. And it's not just cars. Restaurants are struggling to get equipment. Construction projects are stalled because of material shortages, and even beer brewers are feeling the pinch. This chip shortage is like a bad case of the hiccups, annoying, disruptive, and seemingly impossible to get rid of. Inflation Nation. Your dollar doesn't stretch as far. Remember when you could buy a decent cup of coffee for under $5? Pepperidge Farm remembers. These days, it feels like everything costs an arm and a leg. That's inflation, baby. It's like that friend who always eats all your snacks. It slowly but surely eats away at the value of your money. So why is inflation sticking around like that one house guest who never seems to leave? Well, it's a perfect storm of factors. We've got those pesky supply chain issues, a labor shortage that's driving up wages, which isn't a bad thing, but it contributes to rising prices. And a whole lot of pent-up demand from people who are ready to spend after being cooped up for months. The result? Your hard-earned cash just doesn't buy what it used to. And until the economy finds its footing and those supply chains get back in sync, it looks like we're all going to be feeling the pinch. The new normal? Buckle up, it could be a bumpy ride. So, the big question is, when will things go back to normal? Well, here's the truth bomb. They might not. At least not the normal we were used to before the world decided to throw us a curveball. Experts are saying these supply chain issues and labor shortages could stick around for a while, like maybe even years. And that means we need to brace ourselves for a future where empty shelves, rising prices, and delayed gratification might just be the new normal. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Humans are incredibly adaptable creatures. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and even the Macarena. We'll figure this out too. It might just take some time, patience, and a whole lot of adjusting our expectations. What can you do? This is not the time to panic. This is the time to prepare. We can get through this together, but it will require a change in mindset. We need to be more mindful of our consumption habits, waste less, and support local businesses whenever possible. Remember the days when we used to fix things instead of throwing them away? Yeah, those were the days. Maybe it's time to dust off that old sewing machine, learn some basic car maintenance, or finally figure out how to use that toolbox your dad gave you. We also need to start demanding better from our elected officials. They need to stop bickering and start working together to find solutions to these pressing issues. We need policies that support domestic manufacturing, strengthen our supply chains, and make us less reliant on other countries for essential goods. The future of our connected world. This whole situation has exposed a fundamental truth. We live in a deeply interconnected world. What happens in a factory on the other side of the globe can have a direct impact on what you find, or don't find, on your local grocery store shelves. This interconnectedness can be a good thing. It allows us to share resources, ideas, and innovations. But it also means we're more vulnerable to disruptions, whether they're caused by pandemics, natural disasters, or political instability. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. We need to find a way to build a more resilient and sustainable global economy, one that can withstand shocks and disruptions without leaving entire populations struggling to put food on the table or gas in their cars. Demand change from our leaders. So, what can we do about it? Well, for starters, we can stop accepting this as the new normal. We need to demand better from our leaders, our businesses, and ourselves. We need to hold those in power accountable for finding solutions to these challenges. Write to your representatives, support businesses that are trying to do things differently, and make your voice heard. We can't just sit back and accept a future of empty shelves and sky-high prices. We deserve better, and it's time we demand it. Remember, folks, we're all in this together. And if there's one thing we humans are good at, it's overcoming challenges. So let's roll up our sleeves, embrace the uncertainty, and build a better future, one grocery list at a time.